Hello, welcome to Todd Miller TV. Today's subject is how to handle a real estate bidding war. I read a statistic today that in some markets, and Vegas is probably one of those markets, 75% of all properties have more than one offer on them. So this can be very disconcerting if you're not used to this. Traditionally, the way it works is you see 5 or 6 houses, you pick the one you like, you make an offer, and you either get it or you were too low or whatever, and then you move on to another house. But now we're in a situation where that's changed in a lot of markets. So there's I wrote down some tips because we do sell a lot of houses here, a lot of listings, we see a lot of offers, and over the couple thousand properties that we've listed the last 5 years, we sort of see a trend in what makes a seller like to accept an offer. So I'm going to share these with you. These are my top 5 things that I wrote down. The first thing is, when you submit your first offer, make it the best offer right off the bat. So your highest price. What I mean is, if it's listed for $100,000, don't try to game the system and go, well, we like it better than the other houses, and we pay 105 or we pay 103, but I think maybe the other people will bid less, so we'll bid 99, or don't try to game the system. If you want to, because it's true that sometimes the sellers don't counter everybody. They just pick the highest offer and accept it. And if you're not the highest one, you don't get a counter. And we've had situations where agents submit an offer with their buyer, and then they come back later on and say, well, I see somebody else got it, but we never got a counter. My clients would have paid more. And I'm like, well, if they would have paid more, they should have submitted an offer for more off the bat, because the seller does not have to counter everybody. They have to counter, accept, or reject, but they can just accept the best offer. They don't have to counter you back. So if you want your best chance, that's tip number 1, okay? Tip number 2, have a very strong pre-approval. If you're paying cash, have a proof of funds that say your name, the bank, and showing it in the bank, okay? If it's a pre-approval letter from a loan, it has to be very strong and powerful, stating it's a pre-approval, not a pre-qualification. You want that strongest sense that you can definitely go forward with the purchase, okay? Number 3, a large earnest money deposit. If it's a $100,000 house, as a general rule, a percent is what people typically go by. A $500,000 house, $5,000 is a general rule. Now, if you want to make a statement, if you're buying, like we just had someone make an offer on a property, $200,000, their EMD was like 25 grand. Hey, that gets someone's attention. We're paying cash. We put $25,000 earnest money deposit. That shows our intention that we're really, want to move forward with the transaction. More likely to get accepted because they have more money at stake and more money at play if they don't move forward with the deal. So, okay. Number 4, make it a clean offer. Don't ask for a bunch of nitpicky things. Meaning, don't say, oh, okay, well, I'll pay you list price plus $10,000, but I also want, I want this repair allowance, and I want, I want you to move out 5 days foreclosed of escrow, and I want this, and I want it cleaned, and I want the carpets cleaned, and I want this removed, and I want this fixed, and I want this, I want all these contingencies. I've got to sell my house first, and don't do that. Okay, make it very clean, make it very straightforward. It's a purchase. This is the date, and make it clean. If you have a lot of what I would say high maintenance issues, if you're a buyer, it's going to be very difficult in a competitive market because sellers can see that, they can sense it. The agents can sense it, and a lot of times they will say, hey, look, these are all the things that could potentially happen, okay? 5th tip for how to handle a real estate bidding war: no emotion, okay? It's a house. There are lots of houses. I know that buying a primary residence can be very emotional. You've already pictured in your head your kids playing in the yard, you cooking in the kitchen or working in the garage or enjoying the backyard, or how great it's going to be because you finally found a house where the bedrooms are large and they each have their own bathroom, and it's a very emotional experience, and you don't get the house, and now you're shattered. But guess what? Another house will come up. It'll be fine. Everything will be good. So take the emotion out of it. That's the best way to solve that problem. Your agent should be talking to you about these things and helping you through this process. But I do realize that for owner occupants, it's going to be very emotional. But really, if you break it down, you're just buying a house. You can be happy no matter where you live. whether the house is great or not. It's something you create in your own life. So just take the emotion out of it and really think about that. Just, if you get it, great. If not, then that's fine. Just look at it this way: if you don't get the house, maybe that's good karma that is telling you that a better house is on the way, and you're going to get that one. So anyway, those are my things that I just wrote down. The 5 top ways to handle a real estate bidding war. That's my update for today, and hope to see you on another video. Thanks.